Yeah, it's November 13th. I've returned to Totem Park, or the Sitka Historical Park. And yesterday we went down the river, down that direction. That's where we saw the seals and stuff. And if you want to, you can see that video on YouTube or my Facebook. Today we're going to go out this direction on a trail that is not marked and seldom traveled. So I'm getting all set, ready to go. It's kind of chilly this morning. Got my gloves and hat on. But when it dries out and gets chilly like this, it doesn't seem to bother the old arthritis as much. Anyway, let's get going here. Well, we're starting down one of the unmarked and lesser used trails, Totem Park here. Us locals, we keep calling it Totem Park, even though it is the Sitka Historical Park. I've been down here for a while. We got some really bad weather coming in later this afternoon, so I came out earlier this morning. About an hour earlier than I should have, but I think after we walk this trail we'll go back down. It'll be high tide and we'll see if those seals are still coming up the river. This trail here takes you back to the main trail and the walking bridge. Some really nice trees back in here if you like big spruce trees. Like I said, this is a less used area. That's a substantial. That one there's about 5-6 feet through. Look at all the gnarly branches on that big spruce tree. The old timber tigers like them, especially when they produce cones. I see some timber tigers in here today yet. I don't think they're all hibernating yet. We're pretty close to that road, main highway here in Sitka, Sawmill Creek. So you can hear the traffic about a quarter mile away. That is one big, massive, impressive tree. Wow. There's some tracks on this. Yeah, them bear tracks. Been a bear down in here the last few days. This goes out to the main part of the creek and the river. I see the sun's coming up. Oh, look at that. Sunshine. Yeah, something has been catching salmon in the river, dragging them up here and eating them. But you know, I don't think it's a bear. There are a lot of marten and mink around. I've seen a lot of mink. I've seen bald eagles carrying mink that they caught. It's kind of cute looking. But yeah, there's sometimes I find kills here, like birds and other animals that have been taken by mink or marten. Mostly mink, I think. Yeah. Another nice big tree down there. I'm going to try to walk over here to the creek. See if I see anything else. It's not too bad walking right here. Boy, that's another big tree. Oh my God. Another one that's 5-6 feet through probably. Look at the branches. Big spruces. Magnificent trees. Huh, look at that. Some kind of you know, it almost looks like an old-fashioned, I wonder if that's an old-fashioned hydrant for water or something. That's been in there a long time, whatever it is. Fascinating, isn't it? I bet that's an old water hydrant. I don't know how it got here. Got all these timber tiger holes in here. We call squirrels timber tigers. They're wonderful little characters to watch. We had a pet one called Ernie. Used to hand feed in the backyard. These guys are pretty cute. Fun to watch them. Never get tired of watching timber tigers. Okay, well, we'll just kind of slowly head this way and see what we can find. Boy, I haven't been down here a long time. We're back down to the river. We're upstream, I don't know, 300-400 yards from the walking bridge. Well, there's the bridge down there. Here comes the sun. Do 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 do. Yesterday when I was here in that spot right over there is where all the critters were feeding. Or maybe it was down there. Yeah, I think it was down there. Huh. There's some bear sign in here. A couple days old though. For those people who have lived in Sitka for 30 years or so, you will recognize this as the old Kicksadi Trail. And what it was a trail from Sheldon Jackson College campus across the river over here. And people used to take this trail this way for about a mile to the old Kicksadi bar. So we used to call this part of the old Kicksadi Trail, to the Kicksadi. It's not getting worn like it used to, because the Kicksadi's been closed for, gosh, I don't know, 25 years maybe or more. And a few tracks in here, people tracks. Somebody's been in here. There's there are a lot of timber tigers in here. Look at that, man. That's all his. That's all this chewings there left over from all these cones. Why? He's sure been busy, a little beaver. This is where he eats it all year long, and then they store a bunch of them in different places. It's funny to watch them because they'll store them and other squirrels will steal from each other. They'll find each other's storage spot. Well, you know, it's always easier to steal something than it is to go get your own. We have a big hole back in here. This area along the river in here, different spots. I don't know where, but I don't know the history of all of it. I do know that, you know, turn of the century, there was some kind of, probably some kind of a industrial area along the river here. I see signs of fill and other things. That might be from the hole. Up the side of Mount Restovia, which is that way, When I first came to town, the trees were pretty short up there, but they've grown since. But that's where they cut the trees and made charcoal. You used to be able to see the old charcoal pits up there on the side of the hill. And somebody told me that this was back in here somewhere, maybe at the mouth of the river, there was a kind of an asphalt gravel pit thing. It may have been a place where they stored the charcoal when they brought it down. I got my jerry-rigged GoPro going here. Big heavy camera on the end of a tripod stick. Anyway, this is kind of a nice little place to escape. I'd rather come in here than the main part of the park in most cases. I'll go down the river trail. Nice place though to escape. I really like science. You probably could tell that. I'm always looking at rocks and trees and bushes and twigs and close-ups of things like water drops or whatever, you know. Just enjoy looking at the stuff. Always interested in science. Got multiple science degrees. But I don't believe in theory. I believe in real science. I love real science, but I don't believe anything anymore in what they call theoretical science, which is what 90% of they teach now. Everybody has these wild, crazy theories, put them on TV or whatever. And the stuff, let me tell you, the stuff they dig up, the stuff they find, contradict all that stuff. You know, it's too bad because people nowadays, they just can't. They seem to have lost their ability to think and reason and think critically and look at facts. You know, speculation ain't facts. It just isn't. Oh, yeah, that's impressive. I think I mentioned earlier about these spruce and trees in our soil. Well, all the trees in the soil. As you notice, the root mass is, you know, may only be in some cases a foot deep, maybe 2 feet. You know, we get wind or something else and they just fall over. Just don't have much soil here in Sitka. That's impressive. You see all this rock here. You know, I don't know if this is a natural deposit or they brought this stuff in and used it for fill. Because they did used to take gravel out of the mouth of the Indian River down there. I think they used some of it for fill for the airport years ago. But these rocks, they don't look like natural river rock. They look more like something that was, that could have been, but I don't see any weird shaped ones. It's the same kind of rock. Ooh, it's down there. That's a 20-foot drop. But I'm wondering, well, you can see the soil on top of it here, which is deeper in most places, probably 5-6 inches deep here. I don't know if this is river rock or if it's been dredged up. It's piled up back in here. Goes back in here a long ways, so my guess is some of this stuff has all been brought in years ago when they did some work back in here. Many years ago. I never spotted that before. Looks like some kind of a pipe-like thing with wires coming out. I'm wondering if they're measuring the flow or the height of the river here. Got no idea what that is. some kind of pipe or something coming down. And it's fairly new, it's not old stuff. Yeah, it's froze solid. Yeah, somebody lost a glove, I guess. I don't see any other signs of people. Well, I hate to say, but half of this trail is good for a walker in a wheelchair and the other half is not. Don't even attempt it. Once you make it to this big old rotten stump down here where the tree fell over, stop. The rest of the way, nothing but roots, rocks, and logs across the trail. So I tried to go a little ways and it wasn't worth it. So I'm heading back down the river a little bit. Anyway, we're gonna go down there and see if those seals are coming up the river or not. This trail's getting a little rough in places. I'm having a hard time here. Yeah, this last section is just plain murder. I don't recommend anybody taking anything that's got wheels. Just this section alone here is trouble. If you took this little side trail right here, it'd take you back to the highway over there a couple hundred yards. And from there you could cross the road and go over to the Raptor Center. I wouldn't recommend it for most people. It's a pretty rough little trail. Huh. Well, I'm going to slowly try to get out of this area. There's some interesting stuff in here. Got some different colors to it. Huh. Yeah, that old great blue heron just going to sit up in that tree. Wait for the tide to come in, I think. Yeah. Just going down the trail. I see the tide is starting to come in, so I'm a little early to look for seals, maybe. So I'll go down here and take a look at the beach. Traveling down the trail here. I was thinking one time, because there's so many tourists in here, you know, sometimes they gotta go to the bathroom. Usually go behind some of those really big trees back in there. I thought that'd be a great place to put a trail cam, watching the back of one of those big trees. See how many tourists I'd catch. Bet there'd be a lot of them. Ain't I bad? Yeah, tide's coming in fast now. I think it's about 10:30. High tide is supposed to be 11 feet, which is fairly good size. Should be about the size of yesterday's. But it doesn't hit high tide until about noon. But we got cloud cover today, so maybe the seals will come in. We'll see. Oh, look, a bunch of birds up there. Well, looks like we got the same two swans we had yesterday and the same batch of ducks. Well, we'll see what comes up with the tide. These swans, you can see them digging. I don't know if they eat fish eggs or not, but there's no aquatic plants where they're at. It's just gravel. My guess is everything's feeding on pink salmon eggs that are floating down the river or in the gravel there. You haven't lived yet till you've dug out devil's club thorns out of your flesh. Boy, I'll tell you, you get tied up in this stuff and your life is miserable for quite a while. Ugh. Yeah, made it out to the ocean here, mouth of the river. Somebody's out there fishing for winter kings. Look at that. Every time I come here and I see that mountain up there in the clouds, that's the one that Danny and I spent the night on top of on a Halloween day one time. Spent the night up there half freezing to death trying to build a fire. Yeah, you know, I remember when this alder tree here was about that big around and about, I don't know, 10 feet tall maybe. Boy, that thing has grown over the years. Wow. Been a long time since whoa, I got a wet foot. Ah, been a long time since I walked on the beach. There's some interesting looking stuff there. You know what's living on that rock? Oh, the water goes out quick, I can catch it. Oh, I guess it's just a piece of one. Better get out before you get wet, huh? Just a piece of a snail. Yeah, I haven't been on the beach walking around looking at stuff for a long time. Mainly because I can't walk. Ah, crap. Oh. Hey, I keep getting wet. Same kind of rock we got up in the Indian River mostly here. Nothing new. Not a lot of minerals in this country. Shells and lots of debris. We only got a couple more hours left before the high tide, and then right afterwards is about 2 to 4 o'clock. We got another storm coming in. Well, a lot of clam shells and stuff. That's about it. Yeah, a bunch of it in here. High tide mark up here. I don't see anything else. Yeah, a lot of agate stuff in this stuff. Huh. I bet there's some gold locked up in there somewhere. Huh. Yeah. I can say most of my life I've been a frustrated scientist. Interested in everything. Every kind of science there is, I'm interested in it. Oh well. Me a victim. I don't know what happened. What kind of bird that is? It might be a little seabird. Looks like though something's eating on it. Brown. Is that a merlet? I don't know. Might be. It's definitely a seabird of some kind. Must have died of something. Nothing else is eating on him. So they didn't kill him. Ha! Yeah, I think that's a merlet maybe. Died out at sea and got washed up yesterday in high tide. Interesting. Okay, explain this one. Huh? Yeah, a golf ball. A Dunlop number 3 attack. There's a golf course. It's up in the hills above town. Somebody must have just been hitting them out in the water, or fell out of a boat, or washed in here from somewhere. Well, that's odd. Huh. Anybody lose a Dunlop attack number 3? I don't know what you find here. Okay. Somebody's got to be down living on the beach, hitting golf balls out in the water. That's a Maxfly DDHT4. Second golf ball found along here. Somebody living along the water is hitting these golf balls out into the ocean, I think. Yeah, price of golf balls. Huh, okay. Yeah. Probably find all kinds of dead stuff underneath all this. All this kelp stuff, or salmon bones, and it's all piled up here. High tide. Pieces of, yeah, mussels. You never know what you find in here. You might find a day wrecker. A day wrecker is when you find a human body. You don't want to find one of them. They're day wreckers. Well, here's the battlefield. Out here's where they fought right here they fought the battle between the Clinkants and the Russians in 1805. Ah, look at that. They got the frigate Neva. Well, they got 3 masts. They got that correct. And it wasn't quite built like that. And it had 10 gun ports. It was a merchant man of war built by the British, and they sold it to the Russians. There's a model of it down at the Centennial building, the one I built it from scratch. Anyway, this is the battle. I guess that's supposed to be the Neva there again, huh? That looks more like it. It had a stripe on it, 3. Yeah, pretty close. Anyway, well, tide's working its way up there, almost as far as yesterday. Guess it's time to head on up there and see if I could see anything. Something's moving in the river up there, but I can't tell what it is. Yeah, a little buffalo head over there running. A white head on him. Working his way up. They're diving down now. We got some mergansers and a few other things floating around. There he is again, another buffalo head. Cute little birds. Yeah, that swan and those ducks are right back in the same place again. Must be salmon eggs or something down in there. Keep them interested. They're digging up something. Stirring something off the bottom, picking it up. Yeah, all these ducks are looking for salmon eggs, I imagine. The male merganser. Here comes the female. Picking up something. Yeah, that stuff is some kind of hoarfrost. I thought it was fungi growing on that rock, but it's not. It's a hoarfrost. Look at it. I've never seen that like that before. Fascinating. Here's some more of that stuff. I thought it was fungi. It's not. It's hoarfrost. Look at that. Growing right out of the log. I have never in my life ever seen anything like that before. That is really weird. There's some more down in there coming up. It's just ice, frost. Must be under pressure or something when it comes out of that log or something. I don't know. Mysteries of mysteries, huh? Cool stuff. Like cotton, but it's ice. Well, it's time now to head back over here where we saw the seals yesterday. So we'll see if we have anything coming up the river now. It's just going to be high tide here in the next 30-40 minutes, I think. I guess I can watch swans in front of me eating salmon eggs. They're like 10 feet away. I mean, this is a wide ankle lens. Not a bit afraid of me. Coming down from up north. Oh, gonna fight each other for an egg, huh? They live up north in the winter here in Sitka. I've seen as many as 14, I think. They're either here or over at Stargavin. Usually. Sometimes they're in the lake by our house. I could probably hand feed them if you had some caviar. Yeah, the mergansers a little bit nervous about coming back over with me sitting here. But they might come over here. They're hungry now. Water ouzel over there, dipper. He's looking for salmon eggs too, probably. These swan have found a good place for salmon eggs down there, and they ain't gonna leave. The mergansers are coming, but they're real nervous. I move a little bit and they shoot off. Something splashed up there and I don't know what it was. Everybody's kind of putting on a big show for me out of here. Unless I sit still or stand still. There's little piles of salmon stuff here. Jaw bones and little bones and other bones. My guess it's mink probably killed these. Or even went down and got them. Looks like a mink kill. Yeah, old Dipper, he's having fun. Well, there's Mr. Blue Heron. He hasn't left. Huh. Hey, Mr. Heron, have you seen any seals? No, sir. No, sir. Not even 3 bags full. He was over there quite a way, didn't he? Well, and the heron's finding something to eat. Must be some little fish somewhere. Everybody's fishing the tide. Yeah, he's doing his share of fishing today. Still no sign of those seals. Tide's gonna change after a bit. The swans are still here at my feet and won't leave. Can I get him? Can I get him? Looking. Oh yeah, good enough. Little tiny thing, whatever it was. Look at that little thing. I don't know if he's after sculpin or baby fish or what he's after. It's picking stuff off the land. I wonder if he's eating salmon eggs too. And another one over here against the shore. Quite a ways down there. Oh, blue herons. The swans is starting to move on. Maybe I should too. I am not seeing any seals today. Little birds. No seals. Well, I didn't see no seals. Everybody else is just sitting out there feeding. I don't see any seals anywhere. Nope. It didn't come through, I don't think. Swans and the mergansers are still feeding. Well, it wasn't a total washout today. Saw a few things. So this may be the end of the video right here.